All right, so let's jump in with a couple announcements here, some updates. So on my end here, so Maria's joining me for the deep dive on pipelines and automations. We're excited to have you, and I'll give you another introduction here in just a minute. Something about it's important, I think, for it remind myself, but also for people to know that the mission of TheraSaaS is really to simplify marketing and sales for practice owners so they can close more client leads and grow a powerful brand. So part of this is just educating marketing and sales and then how to leverage TheraSaaS to help simplify those parts of your practice that you might need supported. So we do have a YouTube channel. We're going to put a replay of of this video up on our YouTube channel. So go over to TheraSaaS on YouTube and subscribe. A couple more updates. So our support system has changed. We are now a fully email supported ticketing system. So you can find that on the left-hand side on the menu. All the way down, you should see submit support ticket. And TheraSaaS has been growing. And so I've been investing resources into growing the support team. So Troy and Nicola has been joining. Troy, many of you know Troy already. Nicola is new, and he's been with us for a month and just doing great work. And so we're growing the support team there. And then also we have a knowledge base as well. We want you to take advantage, and we're updating that a couple times a week with new articles to help you leverage TheraSaaS. Okay, one other announcement. So if you are a group practice owner, I've been this is our second year, Nate Hendricks and I have been putting on the Group Practice Scaling Summit. So the idea behind this summit is there's no fluff, practical information, practical systems to scale your practice. Many of you go to school to become amazing clinicians, but they don't teach you how to be business owners, marketers, or how to work with finances in your business. So this whole practice, the summit is around marketing your practice, operations and systems for your practice, and then finances for your practice. And we're really excited to have just an outstanding group of speakers this year. My topic is really how to build a personal brand to strengthen your marketing, attract top talent, and create freedom for passion products, okay? That's going to be big. Branding is the thing for 2025, and I'll be explaining more later. Nate is going to be talking about implementing profitable and motivating pay structures. Whitney's talking about how to improve your practice culture to increase profits and retain clinician. Clinician retention is key to have a profitable practice. You want your clinicians to be able to stay around as long as possible, and they don't always stay around just for the money. It's culture. And then Allison Pigeon's jumping in, how practice owners can build wealth with real estate. So she's a practice owner in Pennsylvania, lots of locations, and she owns a lot of these buildings. So I said, please come talk to practice owners because we are interested in these things. You know, do we stop paying rent for where we are now? Could we own our own building? Like, what does that look like? Walk us through it. All right. And also, if you could put in the chat for me, where do you want to deep dive into TheraSaaS? So this is going to be an ongoing series. I have some ideas, but I want to hear from you. What are the areas of TheraSaaS that you would like for us to explore with you even more, and put that in the chat, okay? All right, so let me zoom back over to this. Okay, so Maria, I'm really excited that you're here. So Maria reached out to me because she supports at least 1 or 2 or 3 TheraSaaS clients on the marketing side. And she said, Brent, I'm doing some things inside TheraSaaS I think your subscribers might find interesting. And when you showed me a few things that you were doing, I was blown away because I'm actually blown away by a lot of TheraSaaS subscribers and what they're doing with pipelines and automations, more creative than what I've been able to come up with. So you're going to come in and you're going to show us a little bit of what you're doing for some of your clients and how you're structuring pipelines and automations. And Maria is the founder of PsyWriter, and she'll speak a little bit more about what she does, but I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you. And right now, Maria, if you want to reshare your screen, because right now I think I'm seeing the TheraSaaS demo page.
I will.
Okay. Lizzie's writing here. I want to learn more how to drive the Tesla. Because I drive a Ford Ranger. This is an inside joke. So we were on a wonderful call with them yesterday, and one of the marketers, someone who works with TheraSaaS client says, So it's like Excel spreadsheets are sort of like I don't think she said Ford Ranger, but it's just like you're driving a Ford and TheraSaaS is like a Tesla. So anyways, funny. Thanks for bringing that back. Automation's the marketing side of product, email lists, and sorting. Yes, we're going to do one on emailing for sure. So yeah, keep the suggestions coming. Automations. Yeah. Thank you, Kristen. All right. Here we go. Pipelines and automation. So I'll let you jump and take over now.
Okay, cool. And I want to welcome everyone and thank you for being here today and giving us a bit of your time that we know that is very limited. So I'm going to try to make the most of it while we're here. Um, and let's dive in. So just to start with what we are going to cover today. So we're going to talk a bit about the key goals that we can achieve through automation, how it can help us, how it can work for us. Then we're going to dive into a case study. I brought a real life pipeline that I have with one of my clients, and then I've selected a few workflows that we can explore a bit further. And then we can wrap up with a bit of Q&A, and I hope you have questions we can go through. But first, a bit about me. My name is Maria. I started my career as a psychologist, and I work at a school for about 5 years. Um, and as much as I love to work with the students and be able to support them, I started to realize that the thing that excited me most about my job was to create new projects and being able to do all the resources and the materials, the Canva presentations, the ebooks, the social media posts. And then I basically got to the conclusion that doing all the writing and designing was my happy place at work. So I started to look through some alternatives where I could like explore these creative outlets and my techie side that was always into computers and tools and Canva and Photoshop and stuff. So I started to look through courses and other career paths, and I basically found digital marketing, and I do and went and do a intensive program on it. And then when I got to the conclusion that could bring these two together, basically my background in psychology, and use it to help therapists and practice owners to improve their online presence, improve their marketing strategies, and um, get connected with the clients that are looking for their support. I felt like I had found my dream job, basically. So I've been working on it for the past 3 years, and I'm pretty happy with it. I'm pretty proud. So that's me, basically. And that's also me. And my sister actually did this illustration. She's like found their creative outlet as well. And that is my dog, Peanut, and he's not well represented in this illustration because it's not that quiet at all. He's a beagle, so he's very, very energetic and time consuming, but it's very cute as well. So let's start with some key terms that can help us go through everything that we're going to cover today. So if you guys want, you can like screenshot this part to revisit it along the presentation. But if you have any questions and you're not understanding anything that I'm saying, you can go ahead and tell me. And also, I will be happy to share the slides at the end so you can have them and revisit them whenever you want. So the first big concept that we have here is a pipeline. So a pipeline is basically a structured sequence of stages or steps that map out a process or an operation from start to finish, or from one point to our goal point, basic. It's basically that sequence of columns that you see when you go into your opportunities in TheraSaaS, and you have all those columns that map all these different stages. So in this sense, a stage will correspond to one specific column in your pipeline. A stage is a step in the pipeline that represents a specific point in the journey or process. For example, in a client's journey, if the pipeline reflects the client journey when you have like a new lead, or it can represent a different stage if you have a pipeline for another operation. We're going to explore this a bit further. Then you have a workflow. A workflow is a series of automated actions that are triggered by specific events or as a contact moves through your pipeline. So the workflows, visually, for me, they seem like a kind of family tree. They have all these different boxes and different branches, so you can follow the contact as it moves through this series of automated actions. That it can be sending an email, or it can be sending an internal notification. And then we have opportunity, that is basically a potential client or a lead that has shown interest in your service. So you have typically all your opportunities inside your pipeline. And then we have a trigger. The trigger is that first box or that first level on your workflow that basically is saying what needs to happen for the contact to enter that sequence of actions. So it's a condition that sets off a workflow, and then it can be like if the client was dragged through that stage on a pipeline, it can trigger an automation and it can send an email to that contact, for example. And then we have the status of our opportunity, that is this classification of the opportunity's outcome between won, lost, and abandoned. And you probably have seen this when you drag your opportunity into your pipeline, those three boxes that appear at the bottom of your screen that have different colors. So you have one for those leads that have been successfully converted. We have the lost, if someone has decided not to move forward, or someone lost interest in proceeding with our services. And we have the abandon, if someone becomes unresponsive and we are not able to reach them. So this is basically our key terms for today. Any questions so far? Am I moving too quickly? Please let me know.
No, great. That's a really helpful. Yeah, you're laying the groundwork, so we're not assuming that everyone knows all those terms. That's really helpful. So yeah, anyone's got questions, throw it in the chat. Okay, yeah. So keep on going.
Okay, cool. So for me, when I think about automation, it's more than just replacing manual tasks with technology. For me, it's a way to strategically integrate these tools into your business so it can serve your specific goals. So I think that for many clients, for many people that start to work with this kind of tools, there's endless possibilities, and it can feel a bit overwhelming at first to explore everything, to understand all the intricacies in it. And I think that the main gap is to understand the tool enough so you can see how it can help you. So I think with this webinar, my focus here is to start to help you understand it a bit more, so you can start to think how it can help you, how it can work for you, and not to be another thing to add to your list of things to do, but it will be something that can help you take the load a bit. So let's explore a bit these goals that we have here. What goals can automation help achieve? So I've listed here some of the common goals that where automation can help us. And the cool thing with automation is that it's limitless, it's flexible, it's adjustable. So if you have different goals than these ones, we can still work on them through automation and make it fit your goals, your specific situation. So let's dive into this first one. Cut down on admin overload. So we all know that running a practice requires a lot of manual, repetitive tasks, and as much as we try our best to keep it all running smoothly, sometimes we or our admin team are focusing their energy and their attention in one task, and the phone rings or we get interrupted with something. So it's easy for something to fall into the cracks, even if we're doing our best. So through automation, automating these kind of repetitive administrative tasks, we can reduce this kind of human error, we can save time, and it allows us to focus on other priorities like our client care, our client retention. So it takes off the overload, the workload, and I think also the mental load of having all of it on our heads or on our spreadsheets and having to manage it all and juggle it all together. So the next goal is increase lead conversion. So basically, while we are mapping out our pipeline and our lead journey from the first point of contact till they schedule and showed to their first therapy session, it gives us also an opportunity to identify these critical points within the journey and understand why people and where they are disengaging, and put in place strategies to keep them engaged, pull them back into the pipeline, into our funnel, and keep nurturing these leads until we can convert them. So these first two goals, we're going to explore them in our case study. So going to come back to it for a bit more a deep dive in these ones. So going to the schedule efficiency. So in this goal in particular, it can help us reduce errors and avoid or reduce no-shows with automated reminders that we can put in place and confirmations. And also it gives the client the flexibility to reschedule or to cancel at their convenience, and then trying to maintain the communication open. So in the case that we're going to explore in the case study that I brought, we have work on this specific goal just in the part of the free consults that the intake coordinator provides. So we are not working on it in the part of the therapy session scheduling, but it can help us have ways to prevent leads from dropping out throughout the pipeline, and can help us re-engage them. So simplify intake and paperwork. So this was actually a very important one because I think all can relate to all the back and forth that is needed to get clients to fill up their intake forms and all the paperwork that is needed before the sessions. So this can ensure a smoother onboarding process and reduce time spending chasing down those clients. So we have also this goal in the pipeline that I'm going to show. We have some stages that trigger reminders and a sequence of emails that we're going to explore. Then we have billing and credit card collection. So this can be always a kind of sensitive and uncomfortable thing to deal with clients, reminding them that they have payments and outbalance. So we're not going to dive into this one in particular today, but I have examples where I've set up a specific pipeline just for credit card collection, that it has like different stages with different email templates and different reminders, and it's very helpful to streamline all this process and allow a bit the admin team to take a step back from all the hassle that it can add to their workload. So it can help us speed up this process and focus on other things. Improve client retention. So as Brent said, it is very important, and here we can automate things to maintain a closer and more personalized communication with our clients and our leads, and trying to gather insights into their experience to foster long-term relationships. So we are going to explore a bit of this in one of the workflows that I'm going to show you, how we can have a workflow that allows us to keep this retention, or to try to improve the communication starting at the first session, or after the first session in this case. And this actually connects a bit with the next one, the next goal, that is collect client feedback. So feedback requests show your commitment to client well-being while empowering you to make informed decisions for continuous improvement. And we all have the need, or at least the want, I know with some of my clients, to have client satisfaction surveys. So we're not going to see those today, just a bit that we have on the pipeline that is connected to the first session. But I have also examples of pipelines that we set just for this specific goal, and they serve to send client satisfaction surveys at different points of the therapy process. For example, I have one client that we have a pipeline that sends a first survey after they have their first session, and then every 3 months, and then after they finish their treatment. So we can have also specific pipelines for specific goals, as well as one pipeline for multiple goals. So it's all about your specific situation, your needs, how you structure your business. So it's all very adjustable and adaptable. And next we have track and nurture referral sources. So this one is particularly helpful if you're working on your referral marketing strategy and you want to track which kind of referral sources are bringing you in more leads. So we can create, for example, tags for different referral sources, and we can put in place different automations to cultivate those relationships and have incentive, for example, or thank you emails, or keep that relationship close and nurtured as well.
And I'll say this is going to be really important that you do track this. Word of mouth is becoming more and more important. And what's that saying? It's like you can't grow what you don't measure. So if you're not measuring those referral sources, who's referring to you and nurturing those relationships, you won't be able to lean in. You need that data. So TheraSaaS is a great place to actually record that. My wife does this. A handful of other practice owners I work with use TheraSaaS like a second level CRM to be able to track those referral sources. And that's going to be absolutely key and growing your practice. So yeah, you have one, is it one more? And then we can jump into, because I know people are excited about seeing these examples that you've set it up pretty well. So thank you.
Yeah, let's wrap it up, the goals, and go for the part that everyone wants. Okay, so the last goal that I have here is scalability and sustainable growth. And this actually wraps it up with the first goal. I think that as a practice grows, you want to be able to ensure that the quality of your service and the workload doesn't burden your staff and your team. So automation basically help us keep having more leads and more clients, and still not dropping the ball in what matters most, and keep our services strong and with growing capabilities. So before we explore the pipeline and the workflows, we just wanted to have here a bit of information. What do you think that are your goals for automation and workflows? What have you been working on or trying to work on? So if you can, with the numbers, answer on the chat and let us know what are your main goals, that could probably help us as we move forward.
Yeah, 1 through 9. You could put one in the chat, and then we could help tailor a little bit if we have an overwhelming amount of a particular number, then Marie could show it. I know I was actually interested in that aid, billing, and credit card information, because I know there's some practice owners, or at least intake coordinators, it feels very awkward for them to be asking that. So it'd be interesting to almost do that down there. So we have 7, Teresa, 7 and 8. Track and nurture referral, or collect client feedback. Yep. Track and nurture referral sources. Absolutely. 5 and 8, aid, billing, credit card, and track and nurture referral sources. Okay. Oh, we got a 3-pack here. Cut down on admin overload, improve client retention, scalability, sustain. Yeah. Hey, Terry. Yeah. Cut down on admin overload. Yeah, I'm seeing a theme. Cut down on the admin overload.
Okay, that's good for me, because it was the one that I actually brought. But
yeah, 5 and
that's
9.
cool. We have a lot of paths to expand this if you want.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's jump in. Yeah. I mean, kind of covers the gamut pretty well. All right. Let's jump in.
Okay. So let's see our case study in particular. I'm going to do this to be a little bit easier. So here we have therapy practice X. That was it reflects a bit of what we were talking about at the beginning. So it probably is a relatable scenario. So this therapy practice, they relied on Google Sheets to track their new client inquiries. And while this worked at first, it became harder to manage as the practice grew. So it was difficult for the admin team to keep juggling all these multiple leads that were at multiple stages in their funnel, and follow up at the right moment, which can then result in missed opportunities or an inconsistent intake process. So what we did to start to put this into practice with automation and pipelines. We started out by mapping out the client journey from the first point of contact to their first therapy appointment. And for in this case in particular, as we're going to see, the first point of contact can be a number of them. We have in this website, you have the free consultations that are scheduled in the calendar. We have website forms, and we also have clients that contact through email and phone calls. So we have these multiple first points of contact. So then we started to design a pipeline that reflected each stage of the journey and identify all the points of contact with the client and the team. And in this case, with the therapists, we started to identify all the different emails that went to the clients, that went to the therapists, and design a pipeline that could help us streamline this journey. And then we review and adapt our email and SMS templates to be automatically sent to clients and also the therapists. So we had to review and adjust these emails to be able to be sent through the automations, because sometimes we have specific information that we want the email to pull from the contact. So we have to create custom fields, and we have to be able to have ways for the admin team to add that information to the opportunity or to the contact, so the email knows which information to grab that is specific for that contact. For example, the name of the therapist or the date of their first appointment, could be the name of their partner if it is couples therapy, but we can go into that a bit later on. And then we build workflows. So those sequence of actions with our family tree, like that were going to be triggered as the opportunity would move through the stages of the pipeline, with also specific reminders sent to the admin team, in this case the intake coordinator, at key moments to remind of key actions that they need to make. Okay. So with this specific pipeline, this is our leads pipeline. So it has 14 stages now, but it started with 7 or 8, and we kept adding more stages over time as we thought that it was necessary. Something could be improved and one stage was missing. So as you can see, and not to scare you right away, it is an evolving process. It's not something that you're going to do all at once.
That's right. Because I was going to say, you may feel a little overwhelmed looking at this. Don't. Like I think what Maria's saying is, like, you start somewhere and then you can add stages later on. So yeah, let's dive in.
Sure. You can start with a very simple pipeline. You have your new leads, your first point of contact that come from your website, from your forms, or from your calendar. You have your first appointment schedule, and you have your wait list, for example. It all depends on your specific needs. But in this case, we started out with 7, I think, so half of what we have now, and we kept adding them up. And it's also one thing that I noticed is, at first it seems very difficult to grasp all that this can do. And I remember a specific meeting that I had with one of my clients' team, and they seem very scared and confused. And now I think they're like real pros in it. Like, they just send me a message telling me what they want me to do, but they understand the process. They know what they want. So for me now, it's much easier to implement it now that they are very aware of exactly what they want and how to get it.
Yeah. And so Maria, just for clarification, you just switched to a different slide. So you have these little green
Yeah.
arrows. Are you going to walk us through that? So each one of these boxes represents a different stage in the pipeline that you have, right?
That's right. Yes. There are 14 in total. So each one is corresponds to a stage or a column in here in these different stages. So the ones that have this symbol with the arrows are basically the ones that trigger workflows or automations. In
Okay.
this case, when we have this opportunity here, so if we would have dragged it to the one stage that has that symbol, it meant that we're going to trigger a sequence of actions like sending the client an email or sending an internal notification. So all of these have automations. And also the last one is a bit different. So it has this crossed out hand symbol. It means that it's not a stage that is triggered by dragging the contact there. It's something that happens through an automated action in itself. In this case, it's a canceled consult. So that means that the client got their scheduled consultation email and then clicked the canceled link to cancel the consultation. So this immediately moves that lead to this particular column without the admin team needing to manually drag it.
Okay, got it. Okay.
So as we talked about, normally a pipeline is something that has a sequence from beginning to end. And as we can see here, this order is a bit strange because we have last calls, and then we have first appointment schedule, and at the bottom we have cancel consult. So it doesn't follow a typical or traditional sequence of events. And this is because it was custom for that particular intake coordinator. And what we did here was in terms of being more practical. So as we know, when we have the pipeline, we have these columns that we, if I do this, it moves a lot. Okay, we have these columns, and the first screen view that we have, we decided to put the columns that are most used. So it was easy to drag the contact, and we decided to put the other columns that was not so needed to the bottom. So they still are there, but they are not as used, so they can be like a bit.
So just easy scrollability. So the main actions usually happen within that first screen without having them to screen over. So that's just like a productivity. Yeah, I've never seen that before. But like, what would be the most productive way to use that screen without having to scroll around?
Yeah, and sometimes it depends on the person and also the internet. So if things are more together, it's easy to drag. However, there is another way to place opportunities in another stages, but the drag and drop is so much fun.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry. So let's explore just a bit of this.
And Maria, I'm just going to be sensitive of time. We're about 40 minutes in. We want to leave a little time for question and answer. So you might just go ahead and maybe just hit it a little bit faster, those different points. I think that could be helpful just for time management.
Yeah, sorry. I get really excited, maybe too much excited with this. Okay, so let's do it. So we have this first column or stage that is for our phone consults. the leads that basically schedule a free phone consultation with the intake coordinator in this situation.
Do they use the TheraSaaS calendar to schedule that then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, they have all the connected with the website, and people can schedule through the website on the TheraSaaS
Got it.
calendar. So at first we had just one column for these two, for the leads that came through the calendar and for the leads that came through the website forms that are also TheraSaaS, and the ones that are added because they contact via phone or email. So we decided to break them into two different stages, because we realized that this first one had a timing within itself, because people schedule and then there's a wait period for their consult to happen, and they don't need further action until they have their first consultation. So this one had different timings, because people submit a form or send an email, so the admin team needs to go back and contact them. So we felt that it was easier to track the leads in these different situations. Then once the admin team contacts, they go to the client contact column. That is basically a holding stage before they can move them further and actually schedule the first therapy appointment. And then we have a last call that is specific for leads that are unresponsive. So this last call triggers a last call email and gives them opportunity to re-engage, or for us to pull them back, as we said, to our pipeline. This was also for practical terms, the client contact task assigned. So there are a number of leads that have tasks with deadlines. So this was an easy way to keep them all on the same column, so the admin team can easily go in there and see what leads have tasks and what are they waiting for and what needs to be done to move them further into the pipeline.
That's interesting. So instead of looking at their master task lists or seeing what was assigned to them, they actually, any contact that had a task that needed to be taken care of, they put them in that column.
Any lead in this case.
Any lead. Yeah. Okay. Fascinating. Yeah. Any client. Okay, cool.
Yeah. It's just easy to go there
like a
and
visual reminder, like, hey, this, we need to clear this thing out by the end of the day, essentially, like try to keep that empty.
Yeah. Because we found that this admin team works a lot more in the pipeline view than in the dashboard, where they can see the tasks. So it was easier for them to have it all like centered on one place.
Okay.
So then we have the intake forms that connect to the paperwork goal that we talked about. So in this particular case, this column is for all those blessed contacts that already fill out their forms. And for those that haven't, we have the intake forms incomplete. So this particular column triggers an email reminding them to complete their forms, and also for the partner in case it's a couples therapy. And also it triggers an internal notification to the admin team to check if they have completed their forms again after one day they get this reminder.
Got it. So they're checking the EHR to make sure the forms are completed and then coming back to TheraSaaS. So it's now you're using TheraSaaS like task management a little bit too.
Yeah. Okay. I think that the thing in this case that we're seeing, the thing that they really loved about it was the reminders, because we actually use the automations to remind the admin of everything they have on hold and that they need to do next to move the leads along the pipeline. So it sends these cute reminders like call this person or to check this form. And I think it's very helpful, especially with the mental load. all of the things that we need to keep on
Right.
our.
If you have a lot of leads coming to your practice, like I think that's great. That's a really cool use case. All right, keep going.
Then the wait list, we all know we have clients that are waitlisted for some reason. And then the consult no answer, as we saw earlier, is for those leads that schedule a consultation but then didn't answer the phone. So this basically is a way to pull them in again and invite them to reschedule, and then a follow-up after 2 days. For the cancel intake, in the case of the client has already scheduled their first therapy appointment but cancels it, so is also another reminder to reschedule and find the time that works for them. The intake no show, it's similar to the previous one, but in this case they just had the therapy session but didn't show up, and it also triggers a similar email to the previous one. And the last stage is this canceled consult, when someone clicks the cancellation links and then it moves the lead automatically for this last column and also sends an email inviting them to the reschedule. So let's
Let me just double check. If you guys have any questions, you can. I imagine we're going to go over. So let me just say this. I am okay going over a little over the hour because we're recording this, and you all are going to get a recording of this webinar. So you can always go back and reference it if we go over, because I think what you're going to be going through now is like a couple examples of the automations.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. All right.
So one thing that I want to say right now is that these all must seem like a lot of information, a lot of things to keep in mind. And one of the things that this goal was all about is reducing the workload, not to add it more things. So one thing that I always do, along with setting up all the pipelines and all the workflows, I always do this guidelines documentation that basically is a step-by-step explaining all the different stages and all the different things that someone needs to do when they are working on the pipeline. And I found that is very helpful to have it like a step-by-step document that you can revisit at all times when you have like questions. And also, as I was telling Brent, we have these internal notifications to keep the admin team on the loop. Each time there's like an action, what they need to do next, and this reminds them, and also is helpful to help with the workload, what to do next, basically. So let's dive into one of these stages. So we have this consult no answer that we've talked about for those leads that are not responsive, basically, and they have scheduled their first phone consultation, but then we weren't able to connect with them. So we were thinking about what we needed to make this workflow, these step-by-step sequence actions to try to bring them back. So we started to make this checklist of different things that we needed to make happen within this workflow. So first we need to send an email to the contact inviting them to reschedule. Then we wanted to update the calendar appointment to no-show. And this is because we then can measure and have a dashboard chart to track the no-shows and compare them over time, compare them with the amount of people that did show. So it's helpful for the metrics that we can also take insights from. So then if there was no change, we want to notify the intake coordinator to call the lead after 2 days. So if we are unable to connect with them, we want the admin team to try again in 2 days. So we send them a reminder. And if there's still no luck, we can after 5 days, update the opportunity to abandon. And then we send an internal notification to the admin, just letting them know that the status of the lead has changed to abandon. So now let's see what this actually looks like.
That's great. And as you pull that up, I'm going to plug, if you go to Maria's website, you can sign up and she can actually help you customize a lot of these automations for you. So I'm going to say that for you, Maria, because I've seen the work you've done. It's pretty great.
And you see now how uncomfortable I feel with that promotional part. I very much like this part when I'm just like trying to explain.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. Okay. So let's make it bigger because my screen is so big, then everything looks really tiny.
Mm-hmm.
So here we have the pipeline that we've been exploring with all its 14 stages. And we can see me here with my test opportunity. So let's go to automations and let's see this consult no answer. So as we saw earlier, we need, for every automation, we need that trigger. So basically what is saying what needs to happen for this particular contact to enter this sequence of actions. So in this case, we have it's a dragging through the pipeline action. So when a contact is moved to this particular column, that is consult no answer in this particular pipeline, they will enter this workflow and go through all the different actions. So then we wanted to update the appointment status so we can measure that no-show percentage within our calendar appointment. So we can save it as no-show. Then it triggers an email to the client, and we have usually all of these in templates. In this case, I did this specifically to show here.
Sorry to interrupt, Marie. Did you say that the appointment status, you have to go into the calendar and just mark it as no-show? Is that what that is, or does it update on its own?
Oh, no, it is automatically.
Okay, got it. Sorry. Just wanted to make sure. Oh, so when you change the pipeline, it's going to opt. Okay, got it. Sorry. Update it to no-show. Got it.
Yeah, it is one of the steps of the automation. So then it sends that email for the client, basically inviting them to reschedule. And we can have this through templates. We can write them here. In this case, I just pulled a bit of the content of the email that was important to retain. Then it enters a wait period of 2 days, as we said. So we want, after the contact receives this email inviting them to reschedule, we want to wait 2 days and then send the reminder to the intake coordinator to call them back or trying to reach them. And this part is important because we have here a condition, and this condition serves the purpose that we only want to send the reminder to the intake coordinator if the contact is still on the consult no answer column, because we want to make sure that we are just sending the reminder if nothing has changed. So if nothing has changed, then the contact will leave this workflow because we are already able to talk with them and move them along through the pipeline. But if nothing has changed, if they continue on the same column, we can set this condition and basically saying that if the pipeline stage is still the same one, this one, then the contact will continue to move further along this workflow. So the next step would be this admin reminder, as I said, to call them after those 2 days.
Is that
And
an
then,
email? That's an internal notification through the system. So it's an app notification, or are they getting an email through this? Oh, it's an email notification.
yeah.
Okay.
In this case, as it requires an action, we
Mhm.
decided that it was best to set it as an email.
Right, because you could send a text message, email, or a
Yeah, we can choose what kind of notification we want. But in this case, we thought it was most helpful to have it as an email.
Go back to that email real quick, because I want to show people that you notice in the subject line, so it says reminder, call, contact name. So that way it's clear. It's going to pull from the CRM who you need to be contacting. Something interesting you could add to that email. So it says, hi, contact name has been, okay. Yeah. So this is an internal email. What you could do, time to give them a call, you could add their phone number as a custom field in that as well, if you wanted to. So they don't have to go search for it. It's like right there in the email. That's when but anyways, this is really great. That's a cool idea.
That's actually a very cool tip. Yeah.
But this is a demo account, so there may not be a phone number attached to it.
Yeah. So next we have the internal notification, and so next we have this 5-day period that we want to give the contact to be able to reach us, or we can reach them. And then we have the same logic here. So the condition is saying that if the contact is already in another stage, so if something happened, if we were able to contact them, then
could you open that condition for us so we can see that? Yeah.
So if something happens, they are no longer in the same column, that just can go and move on from this workflow, and nothing will happen more here. But if after 5 days they are still inside the same column, the same stage, that means that we weren't able to contact them. So after those 5 days, the lead will change automatic the status to abandoned.
Got it.
We found that this was helpful because after a while, the pipeline started to look a bit crowded with all the leads. So it was difficult for the admin team to know which leads they should focus their energy. And this way, after 5 days, if there's no response, no way to contact them, it means that they probably have moved along. So we just have them as abandoned, and then we can focus on the leads that are actually there engaging us.
Got it.
And then it sends an internal notification. In this case, is really just a notification because it's nothing that requires an action from the admin team. So it's just letting them know that the status was updated to abandoned. Okay, so this is a form of.
Let me start, because let me just say we're at the top of the hour. Some people are going to have to jump off, so we're going to be. They're saying thank you they look forward to the replay. So absolutely, we'll get the replay. We'll keep going. We'll keep the party going. So yeah, this is helpful.
Sorry to everyone that I maybe dragged it.
Well, it makes me think. We could almost do a webinar almost on very specific steps within the workflow and like how we actually set those up. So maybe we should do that.
Yeah, when I
really dive deep into it. This is part 1 of like a part 20 series on automations.
Yeah, I think that there's still a lot to cover, and I'm always like afraid that I'm going too fast, but at the same time, I really want to make sure that you guys are getting all the information, and this is going to be helpful. So sorry if I'm talking too much, but
that's okay. I think we laid the groundwork. So I think this is going to be a good like several part series in it. So
okay, cool.
Yeah, let's go to the next one.
So the next one I have to go back a bit to my presentation. I'm going to do it very quickly. Okay. So the next one we have here, let me just full screen it.
Yeah, we see it good. I see it good on my end.
the next one that I want to show is the column that is the first appointment schedule. So in this case of this pipeline, it's a leads pipeline. So it's going to be our main goal to get the leads to schedule their first appointment. And in the particular case of this case study that we're going through, we have individual therapy and we have couples. So what we did was we did two separate workflows for these different needs, because the individual is just for that contact and has like different templates and different points of contact, and the couples needs to also send information to the partner. So it's a bit more complex. There are a bit more stages that we are going to see. So for this stage, what we needed to do was to send the corresponding welcome email based on the session format. So in this case, we have virtual therapy and in person. So we have different templates for these two formats. So we want to make sure that the correct email is sent for someone that is doing virtual or is doing in person. And then we want to send an email to the partner, because in this case it's couples therapy, and we want to the email templates to pull specific information from those contacts. So if you have an email template that is sending the information about the first session, we want it to be able to pull the date of that session, the assigned clinician, the time, the format, or the address, or all that specific information that needs to go to the client. And then we also have, we wanted to at the same time be able to notify the assigned clinician. So send an email to the therapist, letting them know that they have this new client and with all the information that they need for their first appointment. And lastly, we have this internal reminder for the intake coordinator to check the intake forms 3 days before the session. So this was all the different things we needed to be able to do with this automation. So now let's see how this looks like in the workflow. So let me... Okay. We're here and we need to, need to go back here to this one. So this is similar to the trigger that we already seen in the other workflow, but in this case, the only thing that changes is the stage. So this will be triggered as the opportunity is moved to the first appointment schedule column. And then we have this condition.
Can I ask, Maria, with that first appointment scheduled, so they have scheduled an appointment inside the EHR and you've moved them over in TheraSaaS, their card over to that section?
Yeah, I think, most times they schedule over the phone or over email or on TheraSaaS, the part of they have all the communications, and then they go to the pipeline and just move them along.
Okay, got it.
So that this condition is what is going to be able to differentiate for us if it is a virtual or if it's an in-person session, because we want to be able to send the corresponding templates. So we have this email template for virtual that is different from the in-person one. So here the contact will go to the branch that is corresponding to the format of the therapy session.
So let me ask on the if you click onto the virtual, or how do you, is that a custom field? Do they select that on the form? Does the intake coordinator,
Yeah.
what's that location is, and that's a custom field?
Yeah, to be able to do this workflow, we needed to create a number of custom fields within the opportunity, because it was basically easier. So if we go here, it's easier for the admin or the person that is managing the leads to go inside the opportunity card and have it all here ready to fill. So we did it for the first appointment details, and this basically is going to pull. Sorry, I have Grammarly and it's always appearing. It's going to pull the different names. We have this in form of the list because it's easier not to mess the name of someone in the email that goes to a client. So the admin can go in here when they have the first appointment schedule and just fill out all of these for the assigned clinician, the location, the date, the time, and also to have here a little note with information that is relevant about the consultation they had or that first contact with the lead and they want to share with the therapist. And also we
By the
did.
way, this is actually pretty custom work here that you set up these opportunity custom fields as well. So for those who, I was going to say, this can feel overwhelming. Again, you can start small or just hire Maria to do this for you because she has like a real systematic way. I like the way her brain thinks, is kind of thinking through what are those problems you want to be solved as far as communication. And then you start to build upon that foundation. But yeah, this is really interesting in how to set this even up. Can I add, Carla has a question if you feel comfortable sharing. How big is the practice you did this for? How many clients did they have? How many clinicians? What's their intake team look like?
For this particular case, we think they have around 5 therapists now.
Okay.
It's not very big, I think. But as I said, it was a matter of starting, and then we started with the basics, and it grew over time. So we've been developing this for this practice. I've been working with them on this since I think March.
Yeah,
March
we're
this
coming up.
year.
Yeah, we're coming up on a year.
So I've worked with group practice and solo practice as well. It really depends on what kind of goals you have, but within automations and pipelines, I just have done this with group practice. And I mostly work with solo practice for something like a website rebuild or redesign, not specific to CRM. But it all depends on what kind of goals you have.
Chad had a question. Do you focus on group practices or solo practices?
Oh, yeah, that was the one that I was.
Oh, is that the one you're okay?
I'm sorry. I kind of went with it. Okay.
Well, here's what I recommend we do, because this is opening up like a whole nother world within TheraSaaS. I always say in my demo calls, I almost say most of the time, TheraSaaS is a blessing and a curse in some ways. It's a blessing, it can do so many things. The curse is it can do so many things.
Exactly.
So again, starting out very simple, but these are custom fields underneath the opportunities tab, which we might have to show how to create those. But I think what's going to be important is if you could show us a little bit of this walkthrough, then kind of wrap up this initial maybe in that automation and how those custom fields are connected to those automations, that workflow that we're going to look at. And then maybe we can wrap it up with any questions, and then like just, hey, well, let's do another one.
Okay.
We're going to just do an actual deep dive in this. Okay?
Let's do it. So the way we're going to grab that information for those custom fields is in the emails that we're going to send to the leads that basically have these tags, these
those custom fields in there.
Custom values, yeah. we sometimes have different tools, but these custom values in this case that we can go in here and basically you can choose. So we have your opportunity and then we have these custom fields and we can go and just grab them here from what we
Just the
already have.
partner's name. Yeah. Okay. I see that.
So we also, for example, this doesn't have to do with the specific one, but for the credit card, um, um, is another goal that we talked about. We can do emails with the outstanding balance. So it's limitless, as
Yeah.
we say.
How about this? Real quick, show them where to create a custom field inside the opportunity, and then maybe show that box again inside the opportunity card. So you go
Oh,
to custom fields.
I'm sorry. I'm
All right.
was
Yep. Settings. Yep. Go to
settings,
settings. Custom
and then
field.
we go to custom fields, and then here we
Just go ahead
can,
and click the new one real quick so we can show you the quick difference.
yeah.
Yeah. So let's just go. I'll just do a single line. Will be fine. And then just give it a name. Yeah. So you'll see under the object. Yeah. So there's that example under the object here. You're going to see contact, opportunity, or company. The contact is going underneath the contact card. The opportunity is going to go inside the opportunity card, and those opportunity cards are where those cards live on the visual pipeline there on those opportunities. Okay. So what Maria did was created several custom fields to show up only on that opportunity card.
Yeah, and then what I did was group them into folders here. So
For good
we can
organization.
go those different tabs. So we have the tab with the first appointment details, we have the tab for the couples, and
Maybe
we have,
show click on the folders and show them.
yeah. Oh, okay, this here, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So within, we can go here to this drop menu and select opportunity, and we will see all the different folders we have inside the opportunity, and you can go in and move them or
Yep.
add more. So this is all very customizable.
Yep. Okay, so that's where it lives. And then when you go into the actual, go to the opportunities card again, and then show on your example and show them where that information will live. So that information then is going to live inside that card on the left-hand side.
Yeah, so it's easy enough to just work within the pipeline to enter here and to move these tabs and just fill the ones that you need to fill into this contact particular case. So if it's a couple, you can fill the partner's name and the email, so the partner also gets the email about the first appointment information. So let's go back to this one real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So we can free you guys up in a bit. And so basically this is where it's going to connect. So in case of this template, it's going to grab the opportunity date that we have for the first session. You're going to grab the assigned clinician's name, and if it's virtual or if it's in person, and then we can basically add these custom fields in our templates to make sure that all the information is being grabbed for the right contact and they are receiving the information that is customized to their particular case.
Wow.
So,
I've never seen this done before. I mean, yeah. And the thing is it's sort of like for those watching here or on the replay, this is not the first iteration, right? I mean, this is not like this is what they came up with right away. This is saying, hey, we do this a lot. Is there a way to make this easier or use automation?
yeah.
To simplify it? Because yeah, you're gonna probably not start with this right away, but you can build it in over time. So yeah, I'll stop interrupting and then jump in. But yeah, I've never seen opportunity stuff like that used like that before. So
No, I appreciate your input, and that's right. It was I think, a very natural process. It got easier as we went through it. We started basic, and then we started to identify all these needs, and started to think how we can make it easier, basically.
yeah. All right. Well, let's take 5 more minutes and get through this, and then we'll be setting up the next webinars to kind of show different use cases for this. This is great.
Okay, so then what we did, we have the name of the partner and the email on
Actually,
the.
just scroll back up. Let's just kind of refresh where we are as far as, so the goal is first appointment scheduled book. We have the conditions based on virtual or in person, which is a custom field opportunity field that you created, correct?
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
got it.
So either the contact goes to the virtual branch or it goes to the in-person, and it sends different types of templates. In this
So they're
case,
tagged the same thing, couples. The wait list is the same for both. Same tag.
yeah, the thing that is going to be different is the content of the email. So in this case, it's going to talk about, it's going to have the virtual as the location, and it's going to talk about a bit of the virtual part that they need to prepare for, some recommendations for what they need to be, what kind of computer and sound and everything, and the platform that where they are going to have their session. And then for the in-person, it says where the office is located, how they can find it, if there's parking. So it's different in this way because it's going to fill different needs of these different formats.
And I've seen some practices add like a FAQ PDF, or you see that add attachment right there. Sometimes they'll show a PDF of like directions for parking in the parking lot, things that kind of answer those common questions about that first appointment.
Yeah, it all can grow from here, I think, to the most specific needs for each practice. So then it basically is going to send a kind of copy of this email, but that is for the partner. So here we can grab the partner's name through the custom field that we've created on the opportunities. And we also can grab their email and send them directly to them through that custom emailed field that we've created as well.
Yeah.
So this way we make sure that we send an email for the lead that contact us and the first time, and their partners as well, so they have the same information. And this is helpful because both of them are going to need to fill out the intake forms. So we need for both of them to get this information. And then we can move to this is an internal notification to the admin team. So what is going to happen is that once the partner gets this email, they're going to be automatically added to our contacts in TheraSaaS because we just sent them an email. And then to make the job easier, we can just send a reminder to the admin team saying that this contact has just got their welcome email. So if they want, they can go in to their contact and fill out all the information that they have on the partner. So if they need to have that information there, they can have it and access it later.
Okay.
And then we have this wait period that is based on the date that we've created on the opportunity. So this is the date for the first session appointment. So what this is doing here is holding this date, and then is saying that after 3 days, or in this case 3 days before this date, it's going to send this internal notification. So we can set wait periods based on dates
Oh
that
my
we
goodness.
have here.
Wow. Okay.
So we can do it with custom fields. In this case, we set the date on the opportunity, or we can like send a specific date. If, for example, we had a webinar, we could use it for this.
Yeah. Yeah. And
But
then, yeah, based on that. So like, here's the event date. And then 3 days before the event,
yeah, it sends this
an internal notification to
the admin team, and
the
it
admin.
says that these contacts are going to have their therapy appointment in 3 days, so they need to check if they completed the forms. And then the note is to help them, as I said, to know what comes next. So in this case, if they have completed the forms, they can just drag them to the intake forms complete column. If they haven't, they can slide it to the incomplete, and what happens next is that it will receive a reminder.
Wow. Okay. All right. Wow. Wow. I've never seen that before.
I'm feeling good that you seem impressed.
Yeah. Well, no, I am impressed. Well, here's the thing. It's like, some EHRs may do some of this automation for you. And there's some EHRs that don't do any of this automation for you. And so I'm curious for this, what EHR is this? You set up these, what are they using for their EHR?
Therapy notes, I think.
Therapy notes. Okay. Because I know Simple Practice does some automation, not at this level, but especially the reminders. But yeah. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, I think this.
So
This
here's
is,
what I'm thinking. Go ahead. What are you going to say?
this is one of the, not to scare people away, this is one of the more complex ones that we have.
Yeah.
Yeah, this takes a lot of steps, a lot of different action types with dates and wait periods. And
So how about this for the next one? We'll start with a simple one, and then we can go up.
I think the first one
But
was
yeah, because I know this is so helpful. So thank you for spending time doing this. If you can go, I put it in the chat here, and I'll put it back up on the banner. If you want Maria to spend some time with you and set up some of these automations, if you have some more complex automations that are kind of out of the scope of what TheraSaaS support does, definitely connect with Maria. She might be worth your time. She could do an audit almost and say, hey, have you considered this? Or this is what I've seen other practices do. But this also will, so definitely connect with Maria at PsyWriter.com. The other thing I think we'll do is we'll actually continue the series. So we'll connect offline and be like, all right, let's do another one. And we can jump right in and say, here are this is the problem that we had. Here are the things that we took. Like, here's what the automation is going to do. And then we'll show you how to create that automation inside of that.
Yeah.
I like that idea a lot. Well, yeah. So thank you for your time. Thank you for everyone in the chat. Spend a little extra time with us and Maria. And I will, you'll get an email of the replay of this. And we'll also be sending out notifications of the next webinar. This is something we're going to be doing the deep dive series. I wrote down another one on how to use referral sources. Or how to use TheraSaaS to track referral sources, which can be really, really important. Maria, anything on your end?
Yeah, just wanted to share.
It's great.
Sorry, I had just this. So we have here. We have here the key takeaways, and I have like a lot more stuff because once again I get excited. So basically, just wanted to wrap it up and say that these are the key takeaways: is that you can use it to work smarter, free up your time. We can piece it together to be adapted to your specific needs, and most importantly, it's an evolving process. So we can start with small steps and get to the big one. So it's all very doable with time, and I can help you through that. So I just have this little gift that I can I will post it here in the chat. It's just an infography with 5 steps to help you start thinking about automations. So you can just download it in this link and save it if you want. And that's basically it. So I can also, anyone, if you want me to share the slides, I don't know if I can do it in the chat.
Well,
Right.
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if they can copy and paste chat stuff. I'm not sure.
Okay, but if I'm going to kind of try it, but I don't think so because it doesn't
We'll
let me.
figure it out. We
Okay,
can put it
so
in, send me in an email, and we can put it on a follow-up email.
okay,
Okay.
but if anyone wants, my email is here, so you can connect with me, and we'll send you the slides. And I also have a free consultation, and we can keep talking about this and talk about your specific situation and how we can make this work for you. So you can go ahead to my website and then just schedule it there, and I will be happy to help you. And I will try not to talk as much as I did today, but definitely help you understand how we can leverage all of this. So I hope you guys are a bit more informed and that this was helpful.
Yeah. No, and I think it's important that we are able to see kind of the way your brain works behind this too, because my brain does not work like your brain. So it was really helpful to kind of see it, and it's very methodical, and it's a lot of what practice owners need. So, well, thank you. Thank you again for spending almost an hour and a half with us today.
I'm
And
sorry.
oh, no need to apologize. That's why we have replay. That's why we have it on the YouTube. It's not a problem at all. And we'll see you in the next TheraSaaS deep dive series. That'll be coming in maybe at later this month and in March. So we're going to try at least do it once a month. So thank you so much. Appreciate your time. And thank you, Maria, for joining us. And we'll see you on the next one.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.